This right here is a TikTok compilation. If you had pretty privilege your whole life and is now fat.
Hey, if you've had pretty privilege like your whole life, can you stitch this and tell me like what your worldview is? Like, do you think that people are really nice? Because I just recently got like a degree of pretty privilege, and it has been insane how kind people are when they find you attractive. And it is very hurtful, I'll tell you that much. People who literally wouldn't even look at me before now they go out of their way to be kind to me, and I'm like, hey, like that's cool, good for me, because now I'm privileged. But like, what is it? Like, it's not even their fault. It's probably like a completely subconscious thing.
Yeah, it is.
Or unconscious, or I don't know, whatever. But like, rude. Hey, if you've had pretty privilege like your whole life, can you stitch this and...
Yes, girl, let's talk about it because it needs to be talked about. Okay, so let me get my credentials out of the way really quickly. A few years ago, I looked like this.
Whoa!
Now I look like this, and that has given me the power to experience both the best and the worst that pretty privilege has to offer. Also, not to go super psychological on y'all, at 9 o'clock in the morning, look up the halo effect on Google and learn more about this. So now let's talk about what pretty privilege actually looks like. It could be its little...
What the fuck happened? No, she got that bag. What the fuck?
Subtle things that you wouldn't notice before. So for example, not being charged for that extra drink or dessert at a restaurant, having someone offer to put the air in your tires rather than see you struggle doing it. And you can tell me like, oh my God, Kelsey, like maybe people are just good, or maybe they're just doing a good deed. And I'm okay, I'm with you, they're doing a good deed, but why didn't they do that good deed when I was 257 pounds, huh? Why did all of a sudden all these good deeds start happening to me the moment I look like this? Because I went from like one good deed happening to me to a year to 10 of them happening to me in a week. That's not a coincidence, I'm sorry.
So it's people saying pretty privilege don't exist or some shit? Are they stupid? Do they not live on Earth or America? America? Or what?
Hey, if you've had pretty privilege like your whole life, can you stitch this and...
Okay, but yes. So I work in the service industry, right? I'm a bartender. And if you were unaware, the way you look influences it a lot. Whether that's tips or how people treat you, it just does. And when I tell you that my whole life changed when I started getting help for my eating disorder, which resulted in weight gain after the pandemic, I really didn't expect this to make me cry, but people don't even look you in the eye anymore. They're not nice to you, especially men. Like, I would walk up and say, hey, how's it going? You know, how are you? And I used to get, I'm doing really great, honey. How are you? Now it's a little more like, hey, how's it going? What can I get? 2 Coors Lights and a Bud Light. For people saying that that doesn't actually happen, please raise your hand if you would willingly like to live as a fat person.
No, that's her fault. That's her fault. I laugh. Don't you judge me. It's her fault. Because she should never did that way. She did it on purpose because she wanted to laugh from me. She wanted me to laugh at this, me personally. So don't you judge me.
And the fact that no one raises their hand makes the point. And it just makes you feel hopeless. Like, am I ever going to be worth more than my looks?
If you've had pretty privilege like your whole life, can you stitch this?
I am way too fucking sensitive to be contributing to this. My hand is literally shaking, but I'm gonna try. I am also very aware that by fitting into the beauty standard and by being white, that I am a very privileged person. So none of this is to insinuate that my experience has been harder than other people's. Obviously fucking not.
She obviously from Boston. How they say it?
Right, that I am a very privileged person.
I'm
So none
from
of this is
Boston.
to insinuate that my experience has been harder than other people's. Obviously fucking not. This is just some of what my experience has been living in this particular meat sack. All my life, almost every single time that I was acknowledged for something that wasn't my physical appearance, it was prefaced by the word actually. You're actually really smart. You're actually really funny. You're actually really nice. And that made me deeply insecure. That fully conditioned me to think that the things that I find valuable about myself are just invisible to other people. It never occurred to me that people's misunderstandings and preconceived notions about me were on them. I took that on and I was like, that's my fault. I'm not doing a good enough job at proving myself to people and I gotta do better. And funnily enough, the desperate need to feel seen and understood makes you very easily manipulated by the old men that are preying on you.
You've had pretty privilege like your
I'm gonna just hold my comments to myself, but okay.
Your whole life. Can you stitch this?
Yeah, girl, let's talk about it. So it's 100% true that pretty privilege does exist. And yes, it is absolutely rude how when people find you attractive, they're generally just nice to you for that reason and that reason only. until you are a woman in a power position who steps into a male-dominated industry. And then you might as well be carrying around a tray with coffee and snacks. Pretty privilege actually becomes nearly the opposite, at least in my experience. So I swear the logic is if you're pretty, you have nice hair, you have your makeup done, you have a nice outfit, you possibly could not be in a power position or have any intelligence whatsoever. So for me personally, I work in construction management on multi-million-dollar jobs, and I can't tell you how fun it is to have my emails ignored and people literally talk to my male coworker and just act like I am there to serve them. So yes, while pretty privilege is a thing, it can be switched in the opposite direction.
Okay, understand that. She right.
Hey, if you've had pretty privilege like your whole life, can you stitch this and
Someone said it. Before anyone comes to me, I'm not calling myself pretty, but I used to be like a really ugly kid. Like laughing stock of the school, ugly. Got asked if I was a boy, ugly. And people used to look at me the way that you look at someone who has food stuck in their teeth and talk to me like I was disabled. Kind of grew into my features and that whole attitude changed. Anyone who grew up the ugly kid knows exactly what I'm talking about. Weird, but it's true.
hey, if you've had pretty privilege like your whole life, can you stitch this and
Hello, so I don't know if I'm qualified to talk about this because some of y'all be looking like IG models in real life, but here's my experience. So basically, this is how I look like throughout high school. No makeup, my hair's not really done.
God, she's talking so like she's talking with like a lisp. I got a lisp as well, but she's talking fast, so it's tough for me to understand what she's saying.
But to talk about this because some of y'all be looking like IG models in real life, but here's my experience. So basically, this is how I look like throughout high school. No makeup, my hair's not really done. I haven't really changed much. So first, I'm going to talk about my experience with the guys. So basically, I've never gotten treated bad by a guy, and I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about guys that I'm just meeting or that are my friends. Hearing stories about these unconventionally attractive girls, talking about how guys disrespect them and look over them, it was mind-blowing to hear because I've never had that experience ever. Guys are usually nice to me, and I would say 99% of my guy friends have either found me attractive or wanted to date me. I can usually get guys to do whatever I want if it's reasonable, like if I need them to do this or that or give me money or whatever, like they'll do it. And now recently that I've started wearing makeup and, posting on IG, I've had even more attention from guys that would overlook me in high school. Now they want me.
hey,
Sounds about right to me.
if you've had pretty privilege like your whole life,
Okay, part 2 with how girls treat me.
Oh.
So I don't want to say it's the main reason, but it's one of the reasons why I had a lot of guy friends growing up. Because I look the way I look, guys treated me nicely and girls didn't. I've had many instances where girls that were jealous of me and thought that I wanted to take their boyfriends when honestly it was the other way around. Usually it would be the guys that liked me and I didn't like them back. Maybe this is more of a me thing, but I've always felt like I've had to dim my light when I'm around other girls. Because what happens when I don't dim my light is that guys will try to get my attention and they'll completely overlook my friends. So now it's a different situation. I am friends with girls that uplift me, and I can't have guy friends because I just know that it's not a platonic friendship. They always have an agenda.
I told this girl the other day that listen, we're talking about platonic friends and stuff like that. I said, listen, you have passed the threshold for platonic friends. You passed the attraction threshold for platonic friends. Every man that talks to you is going to come to you with a mission in their mind, unless they just cannot, for whatever reasons, have sexual relationship with you. Other than that, they have an ulterior motive. Whether they act on it immediately or not, they have an ulterior motive. Women have a attraction threshold, and once you pass that, every man that comes into your life, they wanna complete that mission. I'm sorry, I'm a man and I'm keeping the G with you. You want to believe whatever you want to believe what you want to believe, but it may be a difference because you may have some people that you grew up with. The only exception if you grew up with people and they are like family members because you grew up with them, but still maybe a smaller inkling of possibility that they still may want to get up in them drawers.
And on the other side of the spectrum, I also have girls that look to me almost as a leader because of how I look.
if you've had pretty privilege like your whole life, can you stitch this?
First of all, not all men are the way I'm about to describe. In my 10 years of
Thanks
service,
for saying
I've
that.
made some true friends, but they are rare, they're hard to find, and they're not always around. I benefit from pretty privilege in my line of work. I notice it. People often use a friendlier tone of voice with me than they do with other people, but they don't want to be friends with me. The faithful married ones don't want to spend time around me at all.
What did I fucking just tell you? The only men that would be really around you is if that, like, you know, the ones that be friends with you, is if they don't have, they will not try to fuck you if they just can't. But they still won't spend much time around you. My friends, my real close friends that are women, I have 2 female best friends. I don't talk to them on the phone all the time. Because I can't. I got a woman. But I don't talk to them on the phone all the time. When we see each other, like when they really need me, really need male perspective, I answer the phone, we have conversation. But other than that, we can't do that.
The shady married ones want to spend too much time around me.
Mm.
The single ones sometimes become my friends, but they usually stop spending time with me once they get a girlfriend. And some men pretend to be my friend, but once I turn down their sexual advances, at the worst of times, this happens.
What the fuck? Nah, that ain't cool, bro. That ain't cool, bro. Fuck that. These niggas need to ass whoop. That ain't
I have
cool,
pretty
bro.
privilege, 100%.
Nah. I ain't think this video's gonna go this way. That's not cool, bro. You some weak ass, hoe ass fuck niggas. Nah, that's not cool, dog.
We trade in that friendly tone of voice for a real friend every single time.
That's not cool, bro. Like, the things I'm saying, it's all fun and games, but when it comes down to real shit, like, nah, that's not cool. Nah, nah. It's just turned. It's nah. I'm sorry she had to go through that. Damn, that's just fucked me up. Nah, that ain't cool, dog. Listen, man. If a girl don't want to deal with you, there's more girls in this world, man. There's no reason for you to put your hands on a woman ever. Especially if you, I can't even make, it's no room, no reason for you. I understand sometimes women may put their hands on you and it may become a situation. But if you a man, you know you can win that fight. You could protect yourself at all costs. Protect yourself, because sometimes women hit hard. I understand that point. Women hit hard, but there's no reason you should put your hands on a woman. But even in this situation right here, based on what she's saying, I don't know the other side of the story, but based on what she's saying, like, no, don't you touch no fucking women because she don't want to fucking date you. That's fucking weak ass, whack ass shit, bro. Fuck no. Fuck out of here, dog. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's fucking embarrassing, man. What type of niggas you is, bro? That shit just fucked me. I was in a fun, playful ass mood, and now it made me change everything. Think about everything I just said in the video. Like, I hope I ain't really put no battery in nobody back to do some stupid ass shit or to have some weird ass expectations from women. Cause like, what the fuck? Sometimes men be sick. When people be sick, I can't just leave it exclusively to men, but sometimes people be sick, man. What the fuck? That threw me off, dog. Any more suggestions you guys may have for me to react to, let me know in the comment section below. That really threw me right there. Listen, man, it's your boy Stacie. Keep your fucking hands to yourself. Don't touch nobody, man or women. Don't touch nobody. If you got some frustrations, work that shit out some other type of way. If people don't want to date you, figure out what you need to do to make yourself a better person. But don't take that frustration out on them, putting your hands on them. You should be dealt with. And I can't say much more because we're on YouTube. This your boy Stacie. That shit really threw me off. And I fuck with you because you fuck with me. Yeah, I'm out.